everybody, welcome back to the Bill and Ray Show. I'm out in the torch shop after a week break. Wasn't really a break, I was doing the county fair, but a week off of doing these videos, and now we're back. Got the torch bench set up again, and we're ready to make another marble. So today it's going to start off just with our main clear rod, and we're going to shape that up, do some fuming, step on from there. So it's been a while since I've sat down to this bench to torch. 10 days ago we were setting up down at the county fairgrounds, and we had this torch and my other bench, my cheetah torch, down there. We were doing glass down there for 5 days in a row, from 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. And we survived a wind event the first night, and after that the weather was pretty good, a little bit hot, but that's better than better than other weather conditions. Unfortunately, after that first windy day, we had wind during the day, but not that big a deal as far as our setup. Although it does impact the torch work. When it gets too windy or it's going the wrong direction, our little bench setup has got the flame blowing all over the place. It's kind of hard to work. But it was a successful fair. A lot of great people come in to see us year after year. Some young people that have watched me do glasswork there since they were little kids. So that's kind of fun. Have them come back and have their fond memories of coming into the fair just to see me. Gosh, that's pretty touching. And after all these years, we try really hard to keep our prices reasonable, to offer a lot of lower end. We had some silly little dollar items and things for a couple dollars. And my little mushroom pendants that I've made for probably 20 years or something have always been $10. Comes with a satin cord and another little bead that I make to adjust the length, a little slider bead. And we always do pretty well with those, but we had a lot of inventory this time and we didn't sell out. Although little pendants style that I used to do years ago, again, prices, well, I think when I first started making them they were $15, and we were selling them for $20, but it's just a screaming deal, and we sold out on those. But I made some globe Christmas ornaments, made some marbles, made some mushrooms, made some jellyfish. Tempted to make some of the short glasses. I made one that was okay, one that was not. Oh, one day I made a bunch of little hearts. Those all sold out. So yeah, it's a good time. So I got a gather going here, and I'm going to try and shape this up. Let's see, maybe I need to do this in stages. Let this calm down a moment. Get this whole area kind of heated up the same. I'm going to let this cool down, then we're just going to heat up the end. Awkward. So I hope you all have had an exciting end of summer season. I just came out of Labor Day weekend. I was in the office this morning talking with Ray and said I'd just finally come up with a little plan of attack for my marble, and she was like, "Oh, you gonna be out making your marble today?" And I was like, "Well, no, tomorrow." And she said, "Well, today's Thursday. That's when you usually are out there." It's like, "No, it's not. It's Wednesday." Well, apparently it's Thursday. So here we are. Trying to make a square pyramid. Should have had this view, I guess, going here. Try and angle this down, and it's kind of weird. Making a square shape is one thing, making a pyramid triangle shape is a little different. But this is our starting point. So it's a little bit of a mix-up. Usually I would do maybe some fume effects with it as a flattened piece or as a conical piece, and then shape it. I would try, see how this turns out. I'm going to start off with a gold fume. Yeah, hopefully you guys are doing good. Life's good here on the farm with some normal farm stuff that happens. We had a chicken got nailed last night, probably by a fox. She was a contrarian hen who decided she was going to live out under a rose bush instead of being in the coop. I hope she enjoyed living under the rose bush while she did, because she wasn't protected by the coop. So I'm going to try and do some gold fume on opposite sides here. Can't really see too well from that perspective what I'm doing. But that's kind of the cycle of life here. We get a bunch of chicks, and over the succeeding years we lose them one by one. Hopefully just one by one. Okay, we got some gold on there. Now we're going to try and do kind of some random dots of clear. So yeah, somewhere around 3 something or other in the morning, our dog went crazy and we woke up and we thought it was a cat fight. But well, maybe it was, and it was just a coincidence. But somewhere during the night, somebody snagged one of the chickens and tried hauling it away and couldn't get it through the fence, so the poor thing was found this morning halfway through the fence. burn out a little bit of this gold. It flashed over, of course, is almost as good a gold fuming on the sides where I wasn't intending it to go. And then we're going to do some silver. Kind of ease that in. So then that always begs the question, what are you going to do with the chicken? So I left it outside our main fence line and let somebody come and scavenge it. I don't know if the one that took it out will come back or not. Kind of hate to encourage, in essence, feeding the fox or whoever it was. But, other critters got to eat too, so. I just hope they respect my authority and don't come back during the daytime. The coop's pretty secure. But I've seen fox and coyotes in broad daylight running away with the chicken, so. And they're out running around during the day. Alright, we're trying to burn off some of this fume. Got a lot of heavy fume out here on what's going to become the front lens. One of the reasons I do all that tearing off of glass towards the end is this glass gets pretty contaminated and stressed and overworked. So now, let's see what kind of magic we can make happen here. Melting this in. Kind of keep our pyramid shape going here. Try to make our dots somewhat random size and shape and position. Doesn't sound too good. Now, I'm kind of going around doing this, keeping this shape, but I'm also torquing it to twist it. So this was the phase that would be a little different. Not exactly sure if this is going to hold the interest that I'm looking for. I'm trying to torque it as I go and bend that point over. Yeah, I got this front lens side kind of squished up. So I'm trying to kind of heal up this lens side. Looking a little better. So behind the fume, I've got some blue and green greasy glass, which is when it's deep in case like this, it's not going to have much intense color. It looks very pretty as it is right now on a stick, but it kind of blends with the fuming and makes some soft color. So I'm going to put this down as spirals. And I want some color in the background, but I don't want to obscure the whole thing. Okay, that's just right. Let this just naturally condense in. Now the next step is going to be some black frit. So that adds this contrast, backing the fume and the color that's going to be kind of thin color. This will help kind of bump up those effects. When I build up a full, kind of what I think of as a full layer of colored frit, where I want it to be pretty solid, the tip seems to be an area that's often left a little under-addressed. But we'll see. In this case, especially once we get a bunch on there, start pushing this in. And pushing it in, you know, in this case is kind of smearing that glass to fill in the nooks and crannies. Sometimes at this phase I would take some black stringer and complete the opaque layer with some stringer. I'm trying to just build this up with frit. And when you do that, it takes a fair bit of frit to get it to approximate a solid layer. When you lay it down just on aluminum foil like this, you have to also remember that aluminum will melt quite a bit easier than the temperature of the glass right now, so if you go too far with that, you'll just burn right through the aluminum. Alright, we got that all smoothed out. Let that stabilize before we do the next thing, which is going to be some gold fume on that layer. Lid is a little funky. Got our marble mug. Some juice today. It's kind of fall days. I mean, plenty warm. It's going to warm up today, but kind of transitioning weather. Let's see. Got a little bit of a sharp oxidizing flame for the gold. Try and have that little nugget of gold just hanging out on the tip of a one candle flame. It can move around. It's heavier than the hot glass around it, so it tends to move a little. And then we kind of roll that on the marver to, otherwise that gold has the tendency to submerge. Okay, looking good. Start building up some of the back. So it's the Bill and Ray show, and I always start off with saying this is the Bill and Ray show, and of course Ray's not out here on the video, but without her, I wouldn't be out here doing this. So she's in the office right now, working on getting online inventory put together. Yesterday she was busy doing some marketing work on our vacation cottage. So she's always very busy, and sometimes she gets out doing some videos and uploading those, but so you don't get to see the two of us at the same time much. But without each other, we wouldn't be doing what we do. So we're a married couple, but we are life partners and business partners. So we technically operate out of two different business names, but that really doesn't mean much when it comes to the work that needs to be done. So our vacation rental, we had some folks in there this summer for 2 months, and when you have especially long-term stays like that and they move out, then there's sometimes things that need some maintenance, and we decided it's time to replace the faucet in the bathroom sink. And around here, I mean, you could order online and wait a few days for the part, that's fine, but I just thought, well, I know I won't have much selection at the local hardware store, so it's a trip to Missoula, which is like a 100-mile round trip for us. Go up there to Lowe's. We have a Lowe's and a Home Depot up there. Get a couple things from Costco. So we were able to pick out the faucet and come home, and I got out there and got that swapped out. No big deal. But that's the kind of thing. She's doing her part, I do my part. I handle a lot of the outdoor, maintaining the hot tub. We needed some work this fall. Watering and mowing, pruning, cleaning up all the storm damage we had recently from windstorms, and still have a little bit more of that to do. Hopefully get some of that done this afternoon. So keeping this place going definitely takes the both of us. Okay, that's that gold fume on that black frit makes a real nice sparkly layer there for the undertone of the backside. going to fill in kind of a partial nanoglass on this back side. And leave room for the next phase. So I'm going to do something a little different than what I typically do on these kind of marbles. I'm going to be showing a couple different ways I finish out the back side of these. So yeah, I'm still just barely getting things put away and kind of resettled, reorganized after doing the fair. We really tear apart all kinds of things. We take 4 carloads of stuff down to do the fair: tables, canopy, 2 canopies, the torch bench, all the setup for the torches, the oxygen concentrators, displays and inventory. There's a lot of tables. We have six large tables, other little folding tables. So we have some chairs in our kind of a camp out area in the back of the booth, because we have family and friends that come down, and we're kind of a place they could drop off a backpack or coats or whatever they might have, and they can hang out there and eat lunch and visit with us. So that's always kind of a big part of our experience at the fair, is just kind of have a space for our peeps, for our family. So I did took some video of the torch work down there, and not sure if I'll get something posted before this video comes up, but I'll get some video showing you a little bit of what it's like down there. Yeah, well, if I can turn the fan here. Things that haven't finished getting all hooked up. Oh, that's nice. A little breeze going. I sagged off center though while I did that. That's okay. So the back side, we are going to treat this with dots and dots. This is a lot of surface. I'm going to take a lot of dots. miscalculated. It's a little dot. So like our good part of our glass work, where we try and maintain prices year to year, our vacation rental property, we've kept the same rates, gosh, I don't know, last 4 years or something maybe. We did go up a bit from our original pricing after we got a little bit of experience and a little bit of a feedback reputation, but at this point, you know, we do all right with the prices we charge, and it always seems like quite a bit of money to me, but included with what we charge, people get internet, get electricity, water, sewer, of course, and garbage, access to got a barbecue outside, we've got a little fire pit, and we've got a hot tub that's exclusive for the guests to use. And then, of course, an amazing location. It's very quiet. It's a great place for a retreat. People that are in transition. So we think we offer quite a deal, really, compared to staying in a local hotel. Now I'm going to squish down these dots in each successive stage. When you do this kind of thing in soft glass, these dots will melt in really quickly. They don't melt in quite so fast with borosilicate glass. Starting to look like a Dalek from Doctor Who. Okay, now the real secret ingredient to this back is Blue Moon. I've got some Blue Moon glass, and the other one, which is, I believe, it was the hard to get Black Pearl. I made another production run. So, but anyway, this Blue Moon is kind of a black-based glass, but it can produce kind of a range of color and effect. So yesterday I had kind of the rare occasion where the glass that I did the last day of the fair, I had some of that glass that didn't go into the kiln while we were down there. I had 6 globe ornaments and 3 decent little marbles, and I needed to anneal those. And I actually had 2 of our 3 kilns running, one to run the globes and one to run the marbles at different cycles. And funny as it seems, but I don't know when I last had more than one kiln running at the same time in here. The marbles I was able to kind of bury with a fiber blanket sandwich, and they survived, which was nice. Well, actually, did I do that, or I put them in the kiln? I don't remember. No, I put them in the kiln later in the day, just as a place to let them hang out after the kiln was cycled down, just warm. But the globes, I just set those down in a tray with the fiber blanket underneath it and let those air cool, and then anneal them the next day. And that's worked out just fine. I don't think I've lost any of those. Certainly didn't this year. Okay, that's our magic color. Go back for the squish. Now another thing that's happening here is the flame chemistry of marvering it with carbon. So it's already got some asymmetry. And it's also, the idea is to kind of spread out the color, sort of fill in. I'm not going to do like a full, trying to heat it into a honeycomb pattern or something, but just get it to spread out. Alright, now, the other part of the magic is adding clear. Alright. Now we'll just kind of let this melt in on its own. So yesterday we had a couple of real nice guys coming out, and they were doing the last mile, few hundred feet of hookup to fiber internet. So we've got a conduit anyway laid up to our house, but right now it doesn't connect out to the main road. So there's apparently some other team has to come in to do that part. It's kind of a crazy process, all the different subcontractors and the different steps that they're doing. And I know this is going on across the United States, and with varied opinions and outcomes, and it's definitely, I think, more work than our local internet provider thought it would be. And it's kind of a hodgepodge of who signed up for it. And we're not committed to actually connecting to service, but as long as it was available to get it brought to our house, which I was beginning to wonder because if it would be even this year, because I still got a lot to do. But I think because we have a connection at the house now, the the rest of the connection from here out to the main street, I think will happen soonish. I hope so. I say right now, it's not really necessary or economically really makes a lot of sense, but at some point here, we'll probably transition. What makes it kind of hard is we actually have a kind of a sweet deal with the internet that we have right now as one of the early adopters for CenturyLink when they were bringing out a better, because they brought fiber out to the main road, but then it's copper lines up to the house, and so it's limited as to what speed they can really run. But we got a pretty low price for the service that we currently have. The only major downside to the service we have is the upload speed is not very good, as is the case with many types of service. Your upload speed is only 1/10 of whatever your download speed is. And as a for instance, if I was trying to actually live stream something from here, I could probably do it with the service we have, but it wouldn't be very good. And I certainly couldn't do it with other people using the internet for anything significant. So, I don't know if that's really a major goal in my life to be able to live stream, justify it. Okay, we're getting this shaped up to our half a circle. It's come together pretty well so far. I don't know how dramatic or amazing the end result's going to be, but I thought I'd try a little bit of different angles to how I do the interior part. I didn't do any central effect, which I often like to do. So, we'll see. Center dot's not quite on center. Try and pick a center that looks better. But these guys that were hooking up the fiber optic connection, it was a bummer. They cut our phone cable accidentally because it wasn't properly marked out by the locators, who kind of did a half-assed job. And so I was having to be in the house. Well, let's see, I don't know, whatever it was, that first time. Our internet went down, and I was looking at the modem, and it showed the DSL was, the red light was on the DSL, like they had no DSL, which I hadn't ever seen before. the guys, they kind of said at some point, they said, is that line currently running? And I was like, well, it's currently in use, but right now, actually, it's down. I was trying to troubleshoot something else and realized that our internet service was down. And a little while later, he said, well, I think I figured out why your internet's not working. I think we cut the cable. So they were out fixing that, which they did pretty darn quick. We're back up running. I'm in the office. And the internet goes out again. I was like, that's really weird. I say by then they had located, marked out where the old phone line went and where the power lines were, and they figured out their path to avoid things. As it turned out, where they had kind of a corner where the phone line came along the driveway and then turned to go to one of our buildings, I think they just kind of assumed that it would make kind of a sweeping turn there. And as it was, I guess, kind of more of a sharp corner, and they cut the corner on that, so they had to expose all that and patch the cable again, so they did two splices. And that's all on them. I mean, it's not my problem, but it was kind of too bad to see these guys, kind of self-inflicted wound. The first one was, you could say the locators didn't do their job, but they did all their own locating, and they just cut it too close. So that was unfortunate. But these guys, anyway, they were just the nicest guys. The weather it was a beautiful day, really, and our fire smoke in the area had kind of lifted some, so the air was pretty clear, temperatures weren't bad, it was sunny, and they were just enjoying their day, and I was just really impressed by their work ethic. The one guy had gray hair and was an older guy, and the main dude was, mid, whatever you say, he was probably in his 40s or something, and they were just great. They were just can do, no problem, I'll get her done. Really good guys to work with. Okay, I think I built up enough glass here. I haven't talked to my sister next door. I know they were over working on her hookup, but our other neighbors around here, I'm surprised. Nobody is, I don't think anybody else signed up for it. We even encouraged one of our neighbors, and they might have. I don't know, they're far enough out of my sight, and maybe they're over there working on their property today. So might as well. They got the money, they got the manpower. They know what they're doing, so if you had to pay privately to get that installed done, it would be a huge amount of money, I'm sure. Kind of tearing along this edge and trying to gouge out a fair bit of this clear glass. It's all kind of bunched up there where it had a lot of leftover fuming and stress twisting around. Now with a dot pattern on the back like that, the way I saw most people doing this when I first started is they would do swirls, heat up 3 or 4 dots or whatever you got connecting, and put a clear rod or whatever down in the center and twist it, get a little swirl, break that off. But that became just such a common thing. Everybody was doing that. I don't know if I ever really, I never got into doing it. I might have tried it. It was something I did do with soft glass beads for sure. It was a technique I was perfectly familiar with, but I just felt like everyone was doing that. I wanted to do something different. And that was kind of the origins of my coming up with the lines, colored lines on the back and raking them. Partly because that's technically a little more challenging. Wasn't something I saw anybody else doing. But in this step right now, it's not consistent, but I'm getting a little pulled tail on these dots up against the edge. Okay. Keep going and then try and spin this up. Okay, that's pretty hot and pretty much out of control. So we'll get this started in the mold process. Okay, so that front lens is kind of where it needs to be. The inside might not be quite as crazy as some marbles I like to make, but I think some of the color should be kind of sweet. The whole interaction between the fuming, the colored glass, and the black backing. Something a little different. And I'm always surprised with things that I try out and I think, darn it, that didn't really do what I wanted at all. Someone else that doesn't know my process, doesn't know the backstory, doesn't really care about all that, they see something completely different. So I'm always curious to hear you guys' comments, what you think about how it turned out. Like it takes a lot of heat to get this colored section to start moving. It's hard to spin it fast trying to get the center stable to spin one. Okay, let's drop it in here and start using some pressure to get things moving. Yeah, we've had a lot of fires around our area now, and the smoke has been erratic. Sometimes the valley fills with smoke, and sometimes it kind of clears out. But we're coming into another stretch of hot weather and no moisture. And a few days we're getting down to really low humidities, and these fires are just going to keep going until the weather changes. So, as happens many years, we just get accustomed to the sound of helicopters flying around, and haven't really seen the tanker planes coming over our house, but we get plenty of helicopters. And so many times people are like, "Oh, I heard this fire's growing big. It's moving south. Is that getting close to your house?" It's like, well, no, it's on the other side of the valley. It's even as the crow flies, it's 20 miles away or something. So not exactly close, but we can sure see it. Well, not quite 20 miles away, but way more than 10. Okay, this one is typical. It's having a hard time squeezing out that circumference. At this stage, with this plenty, I hate to go back and forth a whole nother cycle. I want this to be kind of the finishing, shaping cycle, and the next punty will be the last punty. It means getting the whole thing to a pretty excessive heat, especially along that edge. That's getting pretty close. So we hang out here in the marble mold for a moment. And then we'll do basically a plain polish pass here. It's kind of weird trying to watch the reflection because there's a bunch of other things going on that back side that kind of trick your eye from just seeing what the surface reflection is doing. Okay, now we've got to wait for that to set up. using fuming in this way, it definitely causes the effect to look quite different. It's very curious. It's the same fuming, but depending on the backing and the lighting, it can look very different. So this is kind of a big cavernous, it's pretty deep, but it's a big and cavernous kind of result. Alright, our last shaping heat. And get this pretty warm on the surface. We don't need to sit here long enough to get the core hot, but I'll make sure that edge all the way out to the front face is some good heat going on. And we go into the marble mold from the back end and quickly spin it and bring it up where the very front is hitting that edge in the marble mold. And that shows us that it's filled out to the same diameter. And then we are just going to do some wrinkle removing sessions. We're just about there. Thank you all so much for checking out these videos, spending some time here hanging out with me. It means a tremendous amount to have some people engaged in these videos and giving me some comments. Just some thumbs up is all you need to do. As I like to say, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you don't like this video, hit that thumbs up 3 times. I think that's it. I'm just gonna let this cool down to where I can get it into the marble mold and break it loose. And keep moving. Always keep your rotations going. You don't just say, "Oh, we're done. We're just going to stop rotating." A couple things going on. One is things are still moving, very subtle motions. Whether you hang it down, hang it up, that's going to change shape just a little. And then just the general concept that heat rises. It's way more important on a hollow piece than a solid piece, but you still have that factor of the surface heat anyway is rising. So if you just stop in one spot, a couple of different things are working against you from keeping it round and just keeping everything stable. So we get down to where it's not obviously glowing, and then we can cut this loose. Clean up our one little scar. And we're in business. Wow. Whew. Warmed up now. So I hope you guys got something valuable out of this. Blah, blah, blah. I hope you got something of value out of this video. And I really appreciate you guys being here. Check out for some video, hopefully, of the Valley County Fair, some of the work we did down there. Pop this in the kiln. And we're ready to go. All right. Hey guys, as you know, take care of yourself. Take care of everyone around you. Be kind. Be nice. Makes a big difference. Hang in there. We'll catch you later. See you next time.